Made it out of disbelief. Candles flying up, no fear, just greed. I done waited weeks on weeks. Feel the bull run coming, bears dodge the stream. Try to get them on my team. Moon boys too busy buying XRP. No face, no KYC. VPN locked in, out of state IP. Patreon made something out of nothing. Ain't got a MetaMask, need to go and quit stunting. C phrase only code to the fortune. Better play a card, tell them Reddit boys chumping. Black swan, red swan, it's nothing. Set a limit, orders getting out before the flood hit. Retail got me knowing when the fun is. Made a bank run just to get my bags pumping. Real life, not talking dumb money. I bet the game stop when the market starts pumping. I've been here since the rain, since the flooding. FOMO kicking in, heard the habits like something. Low caps got me living like Archie. Fly to Dubai, first class, all flights please. 5x, 10x, unlikely. 100 on my mind, no telling where it might lead. Crypto, it's been on the rise. Couple million off of me, no, it's not that time. Crazy how they still deny. Last time I seen this was 2009. Oh, well, it caught you by surprise. Getting out before they sell, all a part of the ride. With my advice, you'll do just fine. Do your own research and a fade when I ride.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live stream on the channel. The crypto market continues to pump, and we're starting to see some really good key signs pointing towards an alt season brewing, or you could say it's just began. Okay, so we're going to be looking at some of those signs. I'm going to be going through a few very important charts that indicate an alt season has just started. We're going to look at ETH BTC. We're going to look at the total 3. And we are going to look at Bitcoin dominance, okay? Really important charts. All of them, to me, are indicating that we are in a stage now where altcoins are the favorable investments by a country mile, okay? For the last 6 to 8 months or so, maybe even 12 months, you could say, Bitcoin has outperformed the vast majority of altcoins. There's been a few exceptions. Sui's done a lot better than Bitcoin. There's been a few other exceptions, but overall, the last kind of 6 to 12 months, had you been holding Bitcoin as opposed to altcoins, you were probably better off just in Bitcoin. But it looks like things are starting to shift, and we're getting the early signs of the beginning of an alt season. Okay, now how long this alt season will last, you can't necessarily pinpoint. It could last a month, a couple months, 3 months, 4 months. What we really want to look for is top signals when that moment comes, right? But it seems to me like altcoins are favorable right now and that risk is coming back into the market. That's after risk was completely and utterly evaporated by the tariffs and everything else that's been going on in the macro. So risk is coming back. You can see that in some very important charts. If we look at ETH BTC, you can see that it's starting to change after a very, very long period of time where this was essentially just trading down. Okay, this is the Ethereum and Bitcoin pair trading down, trading down, trading down for many, many, many months. We're starting to see a bit of a change. Starting to see a bit of a change. So Ethereum is looking strong again for a first time in a while. Total 3 is also starting to look good. If we look at total 3, you can see that Not only has it broken clearly above the March highs, it did that quite a few weeks ago, but it's also got above the money flow point of control, or it's at that right now. It looks like it's breaking above, and it's got above this trend line that I drew previously. Okay, so total 3 looking like we are getting an altcoin run for the next few months or weeks, right? We don't know exactly how long it'll last. It could last a month, a couple months. We'll have to wait and see. But we are getting breakout signs on total 3. This is the total market cap of all the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then the other one I wanted to look at was Bitcoin dominance. The last few days, this has been really falling off a cliff after it peaked around 65%, and we got a sell signal flash on my indicator. So you're taking a look at loads of these different charts. All of them are indicating the beginning of an alt season. Now, the question is, which plays should you be in? This is my current list. Okay, I'm updating this as we go along. This is my current list. Obviously, the blue chips you should allocate mostly into, then the mid caps, and then the low caps. That's how you should play it. Okay, allocating from the safer plays at the top down to the less safe plays. That is how you should do it. You shouldn't be more in the risky plays than the safer plays. Still fine to have some of the risky plays, but just make sure that your allocation is sensible. And the 2 VIP gems here, you unlock both of these if you join the VIP. One of them, I think, can do 7 to 15x. That's a really solid mid cap. It's a great buy right now. It's already starting to move up, but I still think it's very early. Then the other one is a low cap, which is a 7 to 50x potential from here. Very risky low cap, but I think that one can do some nice X's. Okay, before we get into the comments, I just want to also bring up that my bundle membership is obviously limited to a few members. I can't have loads of people on this because it's a very time-consuming endeavor. I have a good number of people already on the bundle. They're messaging me, most days. I'm having, one-to-one calls with them. So it's a very time-consuming thing for me. It takes up a lot of my time. But if you are interested in having a lifetime mentor in the crypto space and getting on a one-to-one call with myself, we can talk about your portfolio. We can perfect your percentage holdings in different coins, and we can really put together a good exit strategy for yourself. I can tailor it for you. Then check out the bundle. Okay, you can also pay in crypto if you want. All the information is in the description. But like I said, I can only take on a very limited number of people. After another maybe 5 to 10 people join, I will probably be closing it down because I want to make sure that the service remains as strong as possible for the members. Okay, so check all of that out in the description. Same goes to the VIP, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be getting rid of this, but it will be subject to price hikes based on the demand. And there is a very big influx of demand right now for the group because the results are killing it and the group is insanely active right now. Okay. Sui continues to do really well. Virtuals continues to do really well. I mean, it's just a bunch of winners right now in the market. Bunch of winners. Casper, still a bit quiet on the Casper front. Same with Tau. I think those two will wake up eventually. They kind of run together. When Casper runs, Tau runs. I think they are going to have quite a good run at some point. But currently they are, a little bit boring compared to some of the other players. But if you're asking me right now, which altcoins would I be stacking? I would be putting emphasis on Ondo, Render, and Say. They would be the altcoins I would be buying right now because they haven't pumped that much, yet they remain really quality projects. Okay, and Casper and Tau as well, obviously. Just for me, those two I've already fully stacked. I'm not in a rush to buy any more of those. Okay, we're going to get into the comments, see what you guys are saying. Get your questions in, smash the likes. Appreciate you all being here today. Sui is the chosen one this cycle. Very well said. I've been arguing this for a very long time. Sui is the chosen crypto of this cycle. consistently outperforms the rest of the market despite it having a very high valuation. And its all-time chart looks really, really good. It will probably have a little pullback at some point, so this isn't a terrible time to take a little bit off the table, right? But it remains to be the best altcoin this cycle. And yeah, I'm really, really glad I made this my biggest holding a long time ago, back when it was around $1 or lower. And it's killing it, man. I'm up over 4x or around 4x on Sui right now. So great stuff. Hi, Archie. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Thoughts on Supra? It looks undervalued. You still out of memes? Yeah, so I'm still out of memes currently. I think memes are looking more attractive as a buy right now because a lot of the strong utility coins have moved up. But I would still be deploying capital into, say, Ondo, Aerodrome, coins like that before I go and buy memes. But memes will definitely have a run. They're already starting to move up, which is great. As for Supra, it's one that's on my radar. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's on my radar, but I'm not liking the price action with it. I'm not liking the price action, but eventually this thing's going to pump. And you know what? It's probably a worthy gamble, to be honest. 99 million market cap. FDV isn't great. I have to take a look at the vesting in depth. I can't fully remember the vesting for it, but it looks like it could be a little worthy gamble. Okay, you throw a little bit of money in and maybe you get a 10, 20x on this. But the all-time chart doesn't look the greatest, but it might be breaking out. Okay, I can see this little chart here someone posted in the coin market cap section. It looks like it's breaking out a little bit, right? So it might be time to get a small little bag, potentially. Also, by the way, guys, apologies if I seem really tired at any point during the stream. I got about 1 hour and 20 minutes sleep last night. I was trading all night. So I do apologize if I seem a little bit slow. Got to do the streams regardless, Market's pumping, everyone's making money. Got to do the streams even if I'm tired. There's no excuses. Yeah, usually I'm used to working like 14, 16 hours a day, but yesterday was more like 22 hours a day of work. So it's a bit hectic. Hey, Archie, do you think bringing down my Casper holding to around 17% and putting it into mid to low caps is a good move? Look, I think the time to do that was probably months ago. I brought down my Casper relative percentage in my portfolio a while back. It used to be my biggest holding. I then made Sui my biggest holding. And you can't really criticize that move, right? Because it's been a very lucrative one. And at the end of the day, we're in crypto to make money. So the time to do that, I would say, was months ago. Now it's a bit of a more difficult, more nuanced question. But 17% Casper, that's a very healthy amount. When you start talking 30%, 40%, 50%, that's where I think, you're going a bit all in onto one coin. And I don't really subscribe to that idea for any coin apart from Bitcoin. I used to have about 50% Casper myself, but it's just too stressful, man. You're checking the same project every day. It's just too much stress on the mind if you're all in on one coin. So I do promote the idea of diversification, not overdoing it where you have 100 different coins, but a bit of sensible diversification is always very smart. You can see it's worked very well with Sui. There's some people in my group who are 80% Casper. They're really, really wishing now that they moved over to Sui a long time ago because they would have 4 times that money had they done that. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the date for a tier 1 listing for Casper. I honestly don't know. I'm not going to try and act as if I know. I thought they probably get a tier 1 early on this year. They didn't do that, so I've already been wrong on that front. But Yeah, you would think the fact they've just done this massive upgrade, the fact it went well, you would think this would be the time to start listing it. And there's big rumors that crypto.com are going to list it. That would be really bullish, I think. If a crypto.com listing came in the next month or two, that would be really bullish. But I'm not going to fall into the trap of giving specific dates for a listing. I have no idea when they're going to list it. So I think it would be, around the corner based on what we've seen with the crescendo, but I've already thought things like that and been wrong in the past with the Casper listings. I honestly don't know what's holding them back, but we can only hope that it comes sooner rather than later. Is it times for memes? Yeah, you can buy a little bit of memes. Sui all the way. My portfolio is very, very heavy in Sui. Archie, you'd be shocked. But I think Sui has so much momentum this time around. It does. Yeah, if there was a momentum indicator, Sui would have the most by far. Like, it's got all the momentum. I guess there are momentum indicators, right? But you know what I mean. If there was like a social momentum, like a social score based on how strong a coin pumps and how strong everyone jumps in on it when we move, Sui would be the top of the list. Yeah, majority of retail is still sleeping for sure. Yeah, we are early in this pump. We are early, especially with altcoins. Maybe not with Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's got a long way to go. This thing's been running since 2022, end of 2022. So yeah, I don't think Bitcoin is going to go to some of these ridiculous valuations I hear of like 500K, 300K, things like that. It will eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen, this cycle. So the point is, Bitcoin dominance is starting to drop. Even if Bitcoin only has another 20% move left in its price, altcoins will do way more than that. So if Bitcoin has a 20% move, maybe Ethereum has a 2x left, right? That's the type of comparison we need to look at. And if Ethereum has a 2x left, what does Sui have? Maybe a 5x, right? So that's kind of how you need to think right now when you're looking at potential performance on altcoins compared to Bitcoin. But we just boomed right past all the resistance. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Kind of crazy. My Sui holding is 39% due to the recent pump. Should I sell it and get down to 30? Yeah, I think that's sensible. Yeah, that's very reasonable. I would do that. Yeah, you've got to constantly be rebalancing your portfolio. When you get massive outperformance of certain altcoins, it's only sensible to rebalance. Yeah, I've rebalanced Sui on multiple occasions. In the last run for Sui, it was going absolutely mental. It was basically on its way to being half of my portfolio value. So it was only reasonable that I reduced a bit of the allocation around the $5, $4 region. And then what happened? It came down. So it wasn't a bad decision to do that. But yeah, if you're changing your weightings back to how they were a little bit, there's no harm in that. Thoughts on Casper right now, given the performance is a bit lackluster? Look, Casper will do its thing. It will pump at some point because the fundamentals are very, very strong. Arguably, there isn't any crypto layer one that's as good as Casper when you factor in the fact it's proof of work. So it will pump at some point. And I'm already up on Casper. My average is around 4 cents. So I'm already up. I'm happy to just wait it out. If Casper disappoints this cycle and it only goes to 30 cents, it's still, around a 10x for me. So I'm not going to be complaining when all is said and done. But I would like to see a tier 1 listing come out for Casper pretty soon. That is really what I think a lot of the market's waiting for. Crescendo and all of this, it's all amazing, but it doesn't really bring in retail, right? Because they don't care about the tech. So people need to understand. Retail, they just care about marketing and listings. They don't care about tech. So as much as all of us Casper lovers really like the idea of the crescendo, it makes it really good, it makes it really fast, scalable, all of that. It's not like it's the thing that's bringing in loads of retail. Upgrades very rarely do that. Very rarely do that. I've seen loads of projects do upgrades and improve their tech and stuff like that. It doesn't really cause pumps. What causes pumps is marketing, hype, and YouTubers talking about it and stuff like that. So Casper just needs to break above like 10 to 11 cents. Just needs to break above that region and then it will absolutely explode, I think. The structure doesn't look too bad. The structure doesn't look too bad anymore. We've got a nice clear double bottom. Please don't form a double top, right? That's what I'm saying is please don't form a double top. Let's get above this resistance, flip it for support, and then we'll start battling 15 cents, which is the next key level, right? We've got a big money flow point of control at 15 cents. It's also a golden pocket fib level. So 3 cents would be the next, 15 cents would be the next level to target. And thinking $3 for Casper by the end of the year, what do you think? I think that's way too optimistic. Casper's struggling to even get to 20 cents. So let's put the $3 predictions on hold for now. Yeah, there's only 6 months left of the 4-year cycle. 7 months is it left of the year? It's not impossible, bro, but I just don't give it the likely scenario. Look at what ETH did. Look what Sol did. Look what ADA did. What do you mean? Look at what they did. Yeah, they all pumped. They've all pumped. You're talking about last cycle or what, right? We can't keep comparing to last cycle. It's good to do it. I do it sometimes, but just because Cardano did a crazy run last cycle, it doesn't mean every single layer 1 is going to do that, right? We all think it's Casper, but I'm sure other communities, they think their altcoin is the next Cardano, right? We think it's Casper. What I'm sure the people at Say, they think Say is the next Cardano, right? I'm sure the people at Sui think that. I'm sure the people at all sorts of altcoins think they are the next Cardano, but they're not all going to be the next Cardano. There's only probably going to be 1 or maybe 2 layer 1s that get to that market cap this cycle. Even Sui, right? One of the biggest, clearest winners of this cycle, it's still only at a 13 billion market cap. It's nowhere near the 80 to 90 billion that Cardano got to. I don't even think Sui will get to that. I don't even think Sui will get to 80 to 90 billion this cycle. And Sui's way bigger than Casper. So we just got to be realistic, man. We just got to be realistic. There's going to be great gains to be made. Don't get me wrong. But you're not going to be making, in my opinion, 100x's, things like that, with coins in the top 100. AI 16Z. Take a look at that. How's this thing been doing? I know Virtuals has been going up crazy because we got into that in the VIP, but AI 16Z also seems like it's pumping quite well. It's made a nice 281% move. You can't complain with that. You know, I'm not going to buy any of these other AI agent coins. I've got virtuals. And for me, that's the clear winner. But the listings on this one are good. The community, I'm pretty sure, is fairly good. The chart doesn't look terrible. You know, 377 million market cap. It's not necessarily low. So don't be expecting anything crazy in terms of X's. But yeah, I'm sure AI agents are going to come back around. I'm sure they're going to come back around. Because it's like the next evolution of AI. They did very well in the last run. And I think the last run was just kind of like a teaser for what's to come on this run. This run's going to be a lot better than the last one. Maneki, I sold Maneki a long time ago, but I still think it can do well. I sold all my memes in a big net profit. Please, can you check Link? How's Link been? I haven't checked Link in a while. Has it been like a stable coin or has it been moving up? Let's see. So, Chainlink. Chainlink. So, it looks like it's just broken out. Obviously, it was in a clear downtrend here. Clear downtrend. Looks like it's just broken out. So, yeah, next target would probably be like $24, $25 potentially on Chainlink. Taking a look at this chart. Yeah, Chainlink for me, it's a solid coin, but I just don't understand why you would buy Chainlink when you could buy Sui. They're both around the same market cap. I think one has way more momentum this cycle, okay? Sui has way more momentum this cycle than Chainlink. So I would always buy Sui over Chainlink personally. NIA or ICP, again, you know, both probably will pump, both decent coins, but why would I buy those over Sui? That's always the kind of conundrum that I face. Should I sell some Sui into Sei and Ondo? If you're up a lot on Sui and Sui is becoming a very high percentage of your portfolio, it doesn't hurt to reallocate a little bit into some other coins. It doesn't hurt to do that. So that's my stance on that question. How's it going, Armzilla? Griffane, Cookie DAO, Sekoi, Sekoi, Seko AI. It's hard to pronounce. It doesn't come up when I search it. Yeah, Griffane and Cookie DAO, from what I've seen, they both look pretty good. Goat, it's all right. Cryptotech Odie, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Took great position on Mumu and Hoppy. I learned some bullish news from someone who has connections. Both are great. Yeah, both good memes. Both good low cap memes. What is the price target group for Sui? I can give you a bull case, a bear case, and a base case, right? I can't narrow it down to one exact price. But I would say my bear case would be $7.60. That's the bearish target. The base case, somewhere between $11 and $15. That's what I expect to happen. And the bull case would be, yeah, like $17. $17 to $20 would be the bull case. Hey, Archie, VIP here. Is Mavia still a good gaming play? I think it is. It's the best microcap gaming play. I think it can do well. And shout out to you for being a VIP. Appreciate it. Just wondering how charts look. They are a lot smaller than Sui. Yeah, look, a lot of these coins that are in the top 5, they haven't had their true run yet, okay? Sui is having its bull run. These other coins, they're just warming up. Casper, Tau, Ondo, Render, they're all just warming up. They're just brewing. And eventually they're going to go and run crazy. Really, when Total 3 breaks out, that is when you get the crazy run, okay? When Total 3, I mean, it is breaking out here, but what I truly mean is a macro breakout above the resistance. When that happens for Total 3 and it gets above this, that's where you get a really good run on the altcoins. Okay? So you're looking at potentially still another 2x or so on Total 3, potentially. And that can happen even with Bitcoin just going to 120K, I think. Because the move on altcoins is happening now. Bitcoin is already starting to lose momentum. Like, look at it today. Bitcoin down 0.1%, Ethereum up 5%. All the momentum is going to the alts. That is a sign of the beginning of an alt season. That's what we've been waiting for a long time. It's for Ethereum to start performing and for Bitcoin to start lagging. That's what's happening. Hey, Archie, I'm 21 and I really want to join your lifetime crypto membership. Lost 28K on GFI coin. Please read my email I sent you. Thanks. Yeah, I'll check it out, man. I'm sorry to hear about your loss on GFI. That sounds pretty brutal. So sorry to hear that, man. It's all part of crypto, man. It's all part of crypto. I've took my fair share of losses in crypto. Obviously, overall, I'm up massive. But it's all part of crypto. You lose money, you win money. The key is, in the long run, to make money, okay? So I wouldn't kind of bog yourself down too much about that loss. We all do it sometimes. We all get wrecked on something, but maybe it was a specific meme coin you bought. Maybe it was a leverage trade, whatever it was. It happens, okay? So in the past, I've lost money. It's all part of the game. You've got to kind of learn from it and move on, right? Don't make those risks or those mistakes again. Do I think we will fill the 92K CME gap? There's a good chance. There's a good chance we come back down to, 92 to 97K. But if we break all-time highs, then all bets are off, basically, right? We're in price discovery. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Bitcoin reacts to its all-time high. Will it break above its all-time high? Will it reject? Or will it not even get there? We start dumping now. So these are the things we're going to be discussing over in the Discord on a daily basis. Discord's really active right now, so it's great to see. People are always talking about the markets, even while I'm live. People are sharing charts, sharing ideas. And I just made a pretty big move to my portfolio actually today. Just made a pretty big alteration to my portfolio. So if you want to see what I did, you can see that by being in the VIP. Also, when we do get a little bit of a dump, which we will get at some point, I'm going to be moving some funds into some new cryptos, okay? So if you want to see those new buy alerts, then head on over to the VIP. I'll be dropping some new buy alerts in the coming weeks. But only if we get a dump, okay? I'm not going to be buying altcoins above 100K Bitcoin. I just want a little dump first, and then I'll be dropping some buy alerts. If we do get to like 96, 91, 92K, something like that, somewhere in that region, I'll be dropping some lower cap buy alerts, maybe even some meme coins, okay? Might even start buying some meme coins. So if you want to see all the buy alerts, if you want to see what I'm doing in the markets, head on over to the VIP. It's linked in the description. The group's getting really active currently, and we're winning. You know, we're picking the clear winners. We've been very heavy in Sui, and you can't fault that move. Okay, it's been spot on to the T. Been perfect. So it's great to see. Anyway, gonna wrap up the stream here, guys. I'm very, very tired. Got about an hour's sleep last night, so I need to get some rest. But I do appreciate you all tuning into the stream. Smash the likes if you enjoyed. If you got any bit of value, I answered almost every question. If you do have any further questions you want me to answer, then drop them in the VIP Discord chat, and I'll get back to you. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.